As a kid, I was always eager to go on adventures. I wanted to explore the world and see all the amazing things that it had to offer. But one summer evening, I found myself in a situation that I never could have imagined. Before that evening, my life was pretty normal. I lived in a quiet neighborhood with my parents and my little sister, and I went to school every day. I had a few close friends, and we would hang out together whenever we could. We played video games, rode our bikes, and talked about all the things that kids talk about. But something changed that summer. It was like the world had suddenly become a more dangerous place. I started hearing stories on the news about kidnappings and abductions, and I became more aware of the potential dangers around me. My parents tried to reassure me that everything was okay, but I could see the worry in their eyes. They talked to me about staying safe and being aware of my surroundings, but their words only added to my anxiety. I became more cautious and less trusting, and I started to avoid situations that made me feel uncomfortable. And then came the day of the park. My friends and I had been planning to go to the park for weeks. We were excited to play on the swings, climb on the jungle gym, and maybe even have a picnic. But as soon as we arrived, something didn't feel right. The park was empty, except for a few adults who were sitting on benches and watching us. I remember feeling a sense of unease, but I brushed it off and joined my friends. We ran around and played, but we couldn't shake off the feeling that we were being watched. And then came the stranger. He approached us slowly, his eyes fixed on us as he walked closer. I could feel my heart beating faster in my chest as he got closer, until he was right in front of us. "Hey there, kids," he said in a soft voice that sent shivers down my spine.
"What are you up to?"
We all stood there silently, unsure of what to say. I could see the fear in my friend's eyes, and I knew that we were all thinking the same thing. We needed to get away from this man as quickly as possible. "We're just playing," I finally managed to say, my voice shaking slightly. The stranger nodded slowly, his eyes still fixed on us.
"Well, that's nice," he said. "Do you mind if I watch for a little while? I don't have any kids of my own, you see, and it's nice to watch you all having fun."
I could feel the tension in the air as he spoke, and I knew that we needed to leave. But before we could move, the stranger took a step closer and reached out to touch my friend's shoulder. That was when I knew that something was very wrong. I could see the fear in my friend's eyes as she tried to pull away, and I knew that we needed to get out of there as quickly as possible. "Come on, guys," I said, grabbing my friend's hand and pulling her away from the stranger. "Let's go home." As we ran away from the park, I could feel the stranger's eyes on us, watching us as we fled. It was the most terrifying experience of my life, and I knew that I would never forget it. For the next few weeks, I was too scared to leave the house. I would lay awake at night listening for any sounds that might indicate danger. I was convinced that the stranger was out there lurking in the shadows, waiting to grab me and take me away. But as time went on, my fear began to subside. I realized that I couldn't live my life in constant fear, and that I needed to find a way to feel safe again. I started to talk to my parents and my friends about my experience at the park, and I was surprised to find that many of them had gone through similar situations. They offered me support and advice, and slowly but surely I began to feel more secure. I also started to educate myself on how to stay safe. I learned about the importance of trusting my instincts and paying attention to my surroundings. I memorized important phone numbers and made sure to always have a way to contact my parents. I even took a self-defense class to feel more empowered. Years have passed since that summer evening, but I still remember it vividly. It was a moment that changed me forever, and it taught me a valuable lesson about the world. but it also showed me the strength that I had within myself and the power of community. And although I may never forget the fear that I felt that day, I know that I can face anything as long as I have the support of those around me.